2 teammates, 1 course, and the challenge ahead. Qualifying for the United States Golf Challenge has begun at selected golf courses nationwide. The United States Golf Challenge is 2-man best ball at its finest. Can your team be the best in the nation, perhaps in the world? Dust off your sticks, hit the range, and sign up now at usgolfchallenge.com.
Have you heard of the fantastic new golf shoes which actually will help your game? Squares will help you improve your balance, stability, and give you more distance.
You want to work on your golf swing authentically? Do it from ground upwards. Change your shoes, change your game.
I did, and I gained 7 yards. These shoes are designed with the latest performance technology, and in testing, they're proven to help add distance. Just go to getsquares.com to find out more. Squares, the distance golf shoe.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to On Par with Amanda. You're watching Big's Golf Talk TV. It's so fun to be actually viewed instead of just listened. Today, we're going to talk about Mr. Phil Mickelson. But before we start, let me bring on a very special guest. Everyone loves him. Big's Golf. Come on, Big John Quick. How are you?
Hey, Amanda. Thanks for having me a part of your segment. You typically,
thanks.
Billy, that's a part of your segment.
Well, you know, we got to keep
that,
him happy.
people love him more than they love me or something.
No,
I think they just feel sorry for the guy. That's what I think.
You know, it's a lot of we got to keep him happy.
Yeah,
and,
it's
and
the contract. Yeah, he's got. You ever see that writer that he has? He only likes blue M&Ms. You know what it's like to get blue M&Ms? It's tough. It's like
you pick them out.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. I love it. Well, I wanted to chat today about Phil Mickelson. So there's been a lot of buzz about him and what's going on with his career. So as we know, his career, he's had a great run. He's had quite a few green jackets. He knows his stuff.
Took him long enough, but yeah.
I know, right? But we have definitely seen the other side to Phil more lately on his videos that he posts on his social media. And He is a character. He has so much personality. And I just think that the more we see from him, he's actually super funny. And he's, of course, likable. He's a fan favorite. People love him. So the rumor is that his agent is looking into getting him more of an announcer kind of deal where he's transitioning from playing so much as into becoming more on air. So first off, let's start with your thoughts on that. Would you love to see more of Phil announce?
Well, I'll tell you what, you're talking to a lifelong Phil Mickelson fan, lefty to lefty. I met the guy many, many times and very genuine in person off camera than he is on camera. He knows how to talk and he knows his stuff. Right. If you ever hear him in interviews, he is, I think, the best person on an interview, like at the end of tournaments and things like that. I mean, he breaks down the game like no other. Right. And I think it'd be beneficial for him to be able to do that. Now, I said this long ago that he was molding himself into becoming a play-by-play, color analysis, some way, announcing for the PGA Tour in some form of fashion. I also said that he also will play a handful of tournaments on the Champions Tour, and I still feel he will. I think he's at that age that he can't compete with the young guys on the PGA Tour, and now how many times have we seen guys transition from the PGA Tour regular schedule to the announcing booth and then now back onto the course on a Champions Tour?
Right. No, I agree. I think, as we've seen him, he's had a couple starts on the Champions Tour and he won. And he's just, his playing is so good, but I think like you said, his breakdown analysis mixed with his humor makes it work. Like, we don't want somebody dry on there that's like, okay,
Right.
Bob, and it's just so, like, yes, we want the stats. Yes, we want to know what's going on, but we also want somebody that's going to add some entertainment value. And that's fun to watch. A lot of times, if you think about it, like, we don't really think about the announcers until they're not there or it's somebody different. And you're like, man, that made kind of the sport. So I think announcers.
Johnny Miller was one of those guys that was terrific in the booth, and wherever he might have been on the PGA Tour and doing announcing, or on the lower level tour or whatever case. Johnny Miller was just terrific at what he did in that booth. So, but here's why Johnny Miller was terrific, and Phil is really good about this. Johnny Miller was not afraid to talk to the young guys. Johnny Miller was not afraid to get information and how the game is progressing and have that information firsthand. Phil's the same way. If you ever see Phil in a tournament, and I've seen him off camera in tournaments, he wants to walk along the young guys and talk to them and pick their brain, as well as the young guys want to pick Phil Mickelson's brain. So it's kind of a combination. But Phil wants to stay young. I don't know if you've noticed that with the sunglasses, thing lately in, last couple of years. Yep. I thought to myself, okay, Phil Mickelson and mirrored sunglasses just doesn't mix to me. But I've gotten used to it.
Sure.
But the thing is, he always wants to know what's revolving.
Yep. And how to keep up with what is changing. And I really appreciate that about Phil. And I think for announcing, that's a huge part of it. You can't be stuck back in your day. You have to progress. And like you said, give the people what they want and talk about things that are current and relevant, rather than, well, back when I was playing, nobody really wants that. And so they also talked about, Phil career-wise is set. He does not need to go compete. So to shift over to this is not going to be a downfall. If anything, I think it'll add a lot of entertainment and a lot of viewing. So when he played in 2020, that match with Tom Brady and they became the most watched golf telecast in history.
And that on
5.8 million viewers.
Yeah.
It was, and so, obviously you have Tiger Woods, Tom Brady, like you've got these people that are, obviously amazing athletes in general, but I do not for 1 second discredit like what Phil brings to the table, getting viewers on board. And I just think, and so when he played against Tiger Woods in the match, he's already got his career, like I said, set. He's not having
he is the best in the locker room because he will talk trash until you guys get out to the first tee.
100%.
And he will say, you know what, $5,000 on the first tee, I outdrive you, or somebody gets in the fairway, or I get the first bird, and that's the thing. I mean, he starts it in the locker room, but the camaraderie that he has in the locker room. You ask any golfer on the circuit, you ask who they want to talk to in the locker room, it's Phil Mickelson.
Oh yeah, no, it's 100%. He's a fan favorite. It's a no-brainer. When like you said, he talks smack. He has fun. It's not just, okay, today this is what we're watching. And I will say I struggled. So when CBS Sports took over,
right,
I really struggled with that change. I just thought the NBC announcers were a lot better. They were more into the sport, into the game.
I'm sorry, John Buck should not be on any kind of golf telecast.
No, and so I struggled really badly, and it almost,
or Joe Buck, whatever his.
It got me to a point where I almost didn't really care to watch anymore. It was just not the same. It didn't have that feel, and I think we need somebody like Phil to come in and give it that feel again.
You know what? I love Greg Norman. I know they try Greg Norman at announcing,
but
he's a quiet guy.
It's not for everyone. And I
No.
think announcing is we talk about it, radio or television, you have to be a very certain specific person and have those characteristics. You can't just sit up there and think you're going to announce by talking a little bit of golf. It just doesn't work.
No. And you know what? And Phil Mickelson, and this, you know, when you sit down and he always includes his family in every decision he makes, and this allows him one extra day with his family. You know, now he does not have to go from Sunday to Monday to the next city. Now he can get there on a Wednesday, you know, Tuesday night or whatever case might be, and get there and you know, so he gives an extra day with his family, and then he can move on to the city and all that stuff. And I think that's important to him. It's always been important to him. He's always been a family guy.
Sure.
And you know, one of the other things is, you know, you could tell a gambler. I mean, how many times, and you've seen this on TV, his caddy breaks out a C note to give to a fan because their watch breaks because the ball hit the watch.
Yeah, right.
And you know, it could be a $20 watch, and here's a C note.
Here.
Now, you know that's a gambler because he carries C notes, you know, in his golf bag all the time, you know.
Right.
But you know, you see stuff like that, and yeah, you wish he would have played and won more. You know, Bones did a great job at, you know, being his caddy for a long time. Awesome. And, you know, he just sometimes would not listen to Bones and take chances. You know, he lost the U.S. Open on the 18th hole that one year by not listening to Bones. And the Bones tried to tell him, take a 3-wood or take a hybrid here, you know, and just get yourself in play. He takes a driver and he hits it over the, you know, everything. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to being the person, Phil Mickelson, and I just think it's a benefit for him to be in a booth. Yeah. Now, while I miss him on camera competing, who doesn't?
Sure.
You know, whether he wins or whether he loses, you know, when you hear the background noise of him talking or cracking a joke as he's walking the fairway, it's just priceless.
Yeah, and the only thing that I guess the media has been a little concerned with is Phil. So he does a lot of appearances now as he's getting older and he's traveling and doing. So that's where he's making majority of his money now. Not that he really needs it. I think his career earnings was $92 million. So he's second in the world to Tiger.
He gambled $30 million away.
Yeah, right. Yeah, amen. But I just think that it'll be interesting because the networks want Phil. There's no question, but it's a matter of, can they price point it to make Phil happy, but also not go broke as a network? And so it'll be interesting to see. I know Phil's a great guy. He loves golf, but I don't know if he's ready to say, I can kind of take a pay cut to do this. I don't know if he's there yet, so it'll be interesting to see.
I don't think it's much of a pay cut. I think you still see 6 figures as in the booth. Easy.
I know. Yeah. I mean, I think it's a no-brainer for him. I think it's a great way. Like I said, he doesn't need the money in the same way that maybe he did when he started. So I think it's something amazing. It keeps him relevant in the game. It keeps him in the middle of the action, rather than just kind of out on the outskirts and playing a few champions events. So
it keeps him around the players in the locker room too.
Sure. Yeah. Keeps him in with it. And he's a great guy. And, you know, I'm just excited to see. I love watching his videos. They're hilarious. And so we'll have to see what goes on.
Nope.
So that is all I have for you today. Thanks, Biggs. Always great. In the meantime, make sure you're reaching out to me on Instagram at arobertsongolf, right into Biggs Golf Talk, biggsgolftalk@gmail.com. Love hearing from you guys. Send in what you want to talk about, and next week we'll find something super controversial to get going. Until next week, keep swinging for par.